Hello everybody, this is Junkyard Dog Jerome Williams, and first off, I want to say thank you to everyone who is tuning in for this important conversation around apprenticeship, workforce development, technology, and opportunity. And I really want to encourage you to stay locked in, because what we're about to talk about today is bigger than just one event. This is about where the world is going. This is about skills that matter now. And this is about how young people, career changers, families, and communities can position themselves for real opportunity moving forward. Because truth is, the future is not waiting on anybody. And the people who prepare themselves now are going to be the ones who create opportunities for themselves later. Let's get into it. When people first hear the word apprenticeship, sometimes they only think about one lane. They may think about trades, they may think about hands-on labor, they may think about transition pathways. But today, apprenticeships are bigger than that. Today, apprenticeships can open doors into some of the most fastest growing spaces in the world, including technology, IT support, cybersecurity, AI, and digital systems. This matters because the workplace is changing. Businesses are changing. The way people communicate, market, sell, learn, and solve problems are changing. And if you can learn the right skills, you can put yourself in position to grow with the change instead of being left behind by it. That's why I'm excited about what this event itself represents, because it's not just inspiration, it's opportunity. Let's go. At Shooting for Peace, what we care about is helping people see possibilities in a bigger way. We care about mentorship. We care about discipline. We care about financial literacy. We care about health and wellness. We care about deeply helping people understand how technology, especially AI, can become a tool for building their future. That's why we're excited about the AI certification opportunity and free resources available on app.shootingforpeace.com. That's right, you go to app.shootingforpeace.com, because access matters, exposure matters, and the right information at the right time can change someone's whole direction. Now let's make this real. A lot of people know me for basketball. They know me as an NBA player. They know me from the game. They know me from the journey. But what people have to understand is before the pros, there was a process. Before the spotlight, there was a struggle. Before the recognition, there was uncertainty. And there was a time when I didn't know exactly how my story was going to turn out. And I think that's important because a lot of young people today are in the same place. They have talent, they have dreams, they have energy, but they don't always know which direction to go. So they don't always know what tools are available. And they don't always realize that the new skill can completely change their options. So let me give you one example. If I was younger, before I made the pros, I had access to all kinds of AI tools that are available today. I would look at that as a major advantage. Why? Because as an athlete, your brand matters. Your story matters, your visibility matters, your ability to communicate with people matters. Back then, if I wanted to build a website, promote myself, or share my message, or sell the products, or connect it to my brand, that would have taken a whole different level of money and technical know-how. Today, AI can help you do these things that I used to require a whole team to do. It can help you organize your ideas. It can help you write content. It can help you build pages. It can help you communicate your message more clearly. It can help create systems that support your brand. So if I was a young athlete again, working hard, chasing a dream, trying to stand out, trying to build something beyond the game, I would want to learn how to use AI to create digital products, communicate with supporters, and turn my ideas into something real. Not just because it sounds good, but because it creates leverage, and leverage matters. So let me give you another example. Before people know your name, before success looks obvious, sometimes you're just working. Sometimes you're trying to make ends meet. Sometimes you're pumping gas. Sometimes you're doing what you need to do while trying to figure out what comes next. And I think about that version of myself too. If I was in that season and had access to AI tools and training like this, I would have looked into it as a way to create more opportunity for myself. Because maybe I'm not in the league yet. Maybe I don't know what the future holds yet. Maybe I need another lane. If I'm working a job, but I'm learning how to use AI, now maybe I can build a website for a business idea. Maybe I can learn how to market a product. Maybe I can use AI to help identify customers. Maybe I can use AI to communicate better with people, follow up with leads, create systems that help people grow something of my own. That's powerful because now you're not just wanting an opportunity. You're not just waiting on an opportunity. You're building yourself into someone that can create opportunity. And that mindset can change everything. And that's what I want people to hear today. This is not just your tech people. This is not just for who already knows computers. This is not for people who think they've got it all figured out. This is for a student trying to find direction. This is for young adults trying to find a path. This is for a career changer trying to build a better future. This is for a person who knows they need more skills, more confidence, and more opportunity. Technology is not going away. AI is not going away. The question is whether you're going to learn how to use it in a way that helps you move forward. And that's why apprenticeship pathways matter so much, because apprenticeships connect learning with real world value. They help people build skills that employers care about. They help people grow with purpose. And they show that workforce development is not just about getting through a program. It's about becoming more prepared for real life. And that's why Shooting for Peace AI certification opportunity is something I'm proud to talk about. Because through app.shootingforpeace.com, that's app.shootingforpeace.com, people can access free resources that help them start learning. That includes AI certification opportunities, financial literacy resources, and tools that can help them move forward personally and professionally. And for a lot of people, that first step is everything. The one thing I always talk about is being a role player. Relentless, opportunist, leveraging everything type of player. And that means understanding your role, owning your responsibility, and bringing value wherever you are. And in today's world, learning technology can become part of that value. If you know how to use AI the right way, that can make you more prepared. It can make you more resourceful. It can make you more valuable in the marketplace. It can help you think bigger about what's possible. That doesn't mean technology does the work for you. It means it helps you work smarter. If you combine discipline, character, and consistency and new skills, now you're building something even more powerful. So here's what I want to leave you with. Do not wait until the future passes you by before you get serious about preparing for it. Take the step, get the exposure, learn the skills, explore the opportunity. Go to app.shootingforpeace.com. That's app.shootingforpeace.com and take advantage of the free resources available there. Check out the AI certification pathway, explore the financial literacy tools, plug into opportunities that can help you grow, because you never know how one skill, one lesson, one certification, or one decision can change your trajectory. And whether you're a student, an athlete, a future entrepreneur, a career changer, or just simply somebody trying to level up, this may be the moment that helps you move forward. Man, I'm the Junkyard Dog, Jerome Williams, and thank you for being a part of this conversation. Thank you for believing in the growth, and thank you for believing in this opportunity. And thank you all. It's time to level up. Dog pound.
Off mute here. All right, everyone should be able to hear me. I am so excited today. I tell you, you just heard from Jerome JYD Williams. I have been all around the country with the Shooting for Peace. And I tell you, National Apprenticeship Week has been all week long. And I am telling you, it's been an amazing journey. We've been here just spreading the word about apprenticeship opportunities. And I'm excited to bring on today, without further ado, our special guest who serves as the Deputy Treasurer of College Savings for the state of Nevada. And all week long, you've been hearing messages about apprenticeships and pipeline pathways and all of what you can do post high school, of how you can change the trajectory of your life. And this next guest, Dr. Tia Mathis, is going to share not just about the 529 plan, but the benefits and all of that, and how you can utilize even some of the information that former NBA player, NBA legend Jerome was just talking about, how you cannot let not having money stop you from achieving your goals. And without further ado, I am so excited. I am ready to welcome to the stage my longtime colleague, friend, a respected young lady in the entire Nevada community, if not around the whole country. I'm speaking none other than Dr. Tia Mathis. Hi, Dr. Tia.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad to be with you today. I have some of my team with me also, and we're just excited to share. So I bring you greetings today from the Nevada Treasurer's Office, located in Nevada. And so some of the information that I'm providing, I want families and colleagues to understand that these are just tools and resources that we offer for our families here in Nevada. And so I would encourage everyone to definitely reach out to their state treasurer's office and to see what tools and resources they can find in their own local communities that can truly help with their students. So again, so excited to be here with you, Dewana. Thank you so much for the invitation, and we're excited to jump right in.
All right.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and pull up our PowerPoint. Hi,
all right.
Hi, can you see everything okay?
Yeah, so let's start with let me start with the first slide. I want to just tell you a little bit more about our office. So our office is, again, the Nevada State Treasurer's Office. In Nevada, we are located in Carson City as our main headquarters, and we also have our office in Las Vegas. We are under the lead. My name is Tia Mathis Coleman, and I am the Deputy Treasurer that oversees our College Savings Division. Within the Nevada Treasury, we have 6 divisions. So all of our divisions are here to help Nevadans plan and really become financially secure. And so we are under the leadership of our current treasurer, Zach Conine. Zach Conine is our 23rd state treasurer, and he's served with our state since 2019. And under Zach's leadership, the state treasury has done some really amazing things for Nevada. So as I stated, I oversee our college savings division. And I always tell people that although it's called college savings, our goal is to really meet families where they're at. And so we are so excited to be with you for National Apprenticeship Week, because we never know what our young people are going to do next. And we want to make sure that whatever our young people do, that they are prepared. So just to kind of give you an overview, some of the things that we focus on in the Nevada Treasurer's Office, we have a prepaid tuition program that we offer. We have what we call College Kickstart. And then, of course, we offer our Nevada 529 plans, which we're going to talk about a little bit heavier today. And we have several scholarship opportunities. The most important thing that I think that our office does very well is we start conversations with our families. Oftentimes, families don't know what their newborn is going to grow up and be one day. But we want to start those conversations early through 529s and planning, so that families are setting a little bit aside every year or every month or every day, so that once their little one becomes 18, they have money set aside. And so that's really the goal of 529 plans. There's a quote that says, children with college savings plans have higher college going rates and are more likely to graduate than those with no savings. I just say people with a plan are more likely to be successful than those without a plan. And for us, That can be a trade, that can be an apprenticeship, that can be college. We just want to make sure that we are setting our students up to be successful. And so I want to turn it over to my colleague from our team, Christina Ramirez, who's going to talk a little bit more about some of the details of those programs. And then we will open it up for questions. But again, we're just so excited to be with you from the Nevada Treasury. And let's get right into it. Go ahead, Christina.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tia. And it's so great to join all of you today. As she stated, my name is Christina Ramirez. I am a college navigator. So all things college, planning, prep, no matter what grade the students are in. As we go through these programs, you'll see that we start from newborns all the way to high school students. So no matter where you are in the educational journey, even if you are already in college, we are here to help you navigate those obstacles that come along, the questions that you have. And I have been fortunate to work with the Nevada Treasury for about 4 years now. And like I'm sure so many of you are, I was a first generation college student. So navigating this can be scary, especially if you don't have anybody near you to kind of show you what to do when we're talking about FAFSA, scholarship applications, and things like that. So I'm super excited to go through some of our programs. And then again, any questions that you have throughout the way, be sure to ask us at the end. We can go back to certain sections and things like that. So we are here to answer your questions and to be a great resource for you. So we are going to jump right into Nevada 529 plan. So this is kind of the spotlight of today's presentation, and we will go through that. So a 529 plan is just a short way to say a college savings plan. It kind of reminds you of an IRA, a Roth IRA. So when you're thinking about planning for something that is going to happen in the future, like retirement, this is the same thing, but it is for college savings, post-secondary education savings, apprenticeship savings, any certificate program. So basically any education that you are looking to get after high school, this is your ticket to do so that you can start saving little by little along the way. And the word 529 plan, it is literally just named after the IRS tax code. So they didn't just pick numbers out of a hat. Congress likes to name things after the way that they write it. So it is created in 1996. So it's been around for quite some time. And this is just a great way for families, again, to start saving little by little for qualified educational expenses. So on my next slide, I'll kind of go through what that entails. When you think of an educational expense, what are some things that it could be used to pay for? So I will go into detail about that shortly, but it can be used again for college, K through 12. So if you have those private school fees or things like that that show up along the way as you're getting to post-secondary education, this can also be used for that. And then, of course, our apprenticeship programs, which we are spotlighting here today. So it is a flexible contribution plan. So as I go through our partners that we work with, you will see kind of how much you need to open the account initially, but a lot of them are super flexible. So it is not a contract base or anything like that. You can put as much or as little as you can and what you can afford, whether that is setting up something with your employer to do so every paycheck, every month, or if it's a birthday and you want other relatives to contribute to this account to assist with these college savings plans, you can definitely do that as well. So one of the plans that we will discuss shortly, you can open for as little as $15. So that is one that a lot of families take advantage of. And then in Nevada, you can contribute up to $500,000. So just imagine having that huge pot of money at the end for you to take care of all of your post-secondary educational goals. But again, like Tia mentioned, any little bit helps. So you do not have to try to reach that attainment goal. Anything that you can save along the way is super beneficial. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So when you can use a 529, I mentioned those words, qualified educational expenses. So anything that a college, university, community college, vocational school, anything that they deem as needed for you to complete your degree, your certificate program, etc., would be a qualified educational expense. So we're talking tuition, any applicable fees that the universities and colleges have, whether that's online fees or laboratory fees. We're talking your books, your supplies, room and board if you are staying out of state somewhere or have to stay on campus, even computers and software. So we've seen, especially after COVID, a lot of these programs move to either hybrid or fully remote. And if you need certain softwares or computer setups in order to get your program completed, that can also qualify. as an educational expense through your school if it is needed for you to complete your degree program. So, so many schools and programs can take a 529. So if you think about the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, any school that accepts a FAFSA will also accept a 529 because they still consider it essentially financial aid to help you pay for your education. So you will find that more schools accept the FAFSA and a super small number of schools that do not. But you'll have a ton of schools that you can choose from, whether that is here in Nevada or nationwide, even some abroad programs as well. So you can use a 529 for undergraduate or graduate school. So you can definitely continue your education as needed. So how does a Nevada 529 plan work? As Tia mentioned, these are kind of how Nevada plans in general will go through our current partners, but all of the states will have their own 529 program if you would want to reach out to those. But by all means, you are welcome to open a Nevada 529, even if you do not live here in Nevada. The only difference is that some states offer certain residency kind of incentives and things like that. So you'll definitely want to kind of shop around to see what works best for you. So these plans, they work like investment funds. Once you start putting your money into a 529, you have control as to how aggressive you want these investment savings to be. If you are brand new to investments, all financial institutions that have 529s have either call centers or financial advisors that will be able to kind of help you navigate the investment options, because I know that sounds scary initially, but you can do a super low risk investment so that way you're not worried about dipping below your general total that you have or your balance that you have in your account. They are super flexible, and this works better than a savings account because the return on investment is definitely higher. So I know a lot of us are familiar with savings accounts where the money kind of sits, might gain a little bit of interest, but the percentages are super small. So this 529 plan is great for anybody that just wants to kind of get into investing, kind of see what that looks like, because the trajectory of investing typically goes up, 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 little by little over the course of a long time. So the earlier that you start saving, the more opportunity that you have for this account to grow. So another thing to point out is 529 plans. Again, they do have to be used for qualified educational expenses. And when you are ready to use those funds, you will just request that from your financial institution. A lot of times they will just ask for a receipt or something from the school showing what they need to pay, and they will cut that check directly to the school or to the person that is the account owner. So that way they can pay on behalf of a beneficiary or things like that. So one of the largest benefits of these plans is that, again, that slow grow investment opportunity, the opportunity for you to choose how aggressive your investments can be. Nevada does not have a state income tax, so that definitely helps with your earnings on those investments, which is really, really great. And then you can change the beneficiary of a 529 at any time. So you have your account owner, you have your beneficiary. Sometimes we even have students that they open the 529 for themselves. So they are the account owner and the beneficiary. And that is okay, because at the end of the day, whoever is using it for education in the long run can own this account. You just have to be over 18 years old. But we see a lot of grandparents opening it for grandkids. We have moms and dads opening it for their students and things like that. So it's super open to so many different types of people, no matter where you are. Or like I said, you can open it for yourself if you want to just start saving little by little and make sure that as you're setting this money aside, that it's going to be used for education. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I have money in my savings, it's super tempting to take it out. So this is a great way to make sure that you're using your funds for your education in the future. And then one new advantage to 529 accounts is sometimes people say, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to college or an apprenticeship program and I have all this money. What else can I use it for? So it can be used for things like student loans if you had that in the past, or you can even roll it over into a Roth IRA up to a certain limit. So they are trying to expand the usage of these funds, with, of course, us highlighting that they are to be used for education, but they understand that sometimes you don't use the full amount of a 529. If you are able to have, a larger balance in your 529 than perhaps what your school or your program is owed, then you'll have some leftover money. So that's where they're trying to kind of see where else that money can be used for in the future. So this slide here covers some of our Nevada 529 partners. So like I mentioned earlier, kind of shopping around to see which one is best for you is really the best option. They all are 529 programs, but I do have some slides to kind of compare them just to give some general overviews on all of them. So if we are looking at the 529 plan that I mentioned earlier that you can open for just $15, that is the Future Path 529. It is under JP Morgan Chase, so super recognizable, and it can be opened again as little as $15. They have also waived any account fees for Nevada residents. So just like I talked about incentives by state, this is one incentive program that they have for Nevadans. And then they also have a program called the Silver State Matching Grant, which I will cover in a few slides here. So some states and 529 partners, they have these programs to kind of match dollar for dollar into the accounts. And I'll go through that shortly. So we also have Victory Capital. Victory Capital works a lot with our military families. We know that there's a lot of incentives and things like that that they get. So they also kind of compound on top of that. With a Victory Capital 529 account, you just need an initial $50 investment. And then after that, it's a $50 investment. So this one's a little more structured if that's what you're looking for. And then just like the Silver State Matching Grant that Future Path has, they have something called a Distinguished Valor Matching Grant, and the qualifications are nearly identical. So as I'm going over the Silver State in a couple of slides, keep that Distinguished Matching Valor Grant in your head because, again, the similarities for the qualifications are pretty spot on. We also work with Wealthfront. One thing about Wealthfront is they require a $500 initial investment, and then any contribution after that is $100. So whether you set that up monthly, bi-weekly, etc., they just want that nice, clean $100 deposit into the account. And then there are no advisory fees. So for the initial $10,000 that you have. So if you do want to kind of talk to their financial advisors and things like that to kind of get your feet wet with investments, they will waive those fees where typically sometimes the financial institutions charge for that guidance. One of the companies that we work with, Vanguard, they might be a little bit more recognizable. And they are rated bronze by Morningstar. So they have been around for quite some time. They have a lot of notoriety as well. And they were so gracious that typically if you were to be in another state and you wanted a Vanguard 529 account, you would have to put in $1,000 into a deposit to open that. But they have reduced that fee to $500 for Nevada residents. So that is another in-state incentive. And again, they happen through all 529 programs. So definitely want to shop around and see what's best for you, whether that's here in Nevada or in your own state. This is the matching grant program that I mentioned that is currently open. So we opened on April 1st and it will stay open until July 31st. So if you are already a Future Path 529 account holder, this is something that you can apply for, and it is for children, or I should say a beneficiary, because it doesn't have to be your child. It can just be a family relative or things like that. But the child or beneficiary has to be 13 years old or younger as of December 31st. So whenever you're applying, they just have to be 13 or younger at the time of your application, because you will have to disclose their birthday. And this is a dollar for dollar match up to $300 for 5 years. So if you think about it in the long run, if you continuously apply for this program, you have 5 years to remain eligible for it. That's $1,500 in free money. So you're putting in your money, you're putting in your deposits along the way, and they are matching you dollar for dollar up to $300 for those 5 years. So some of the qualifications for that are, this is a Nevada resident incentive. So both the account owner and the beneficiary do have to be Nevada residents. So they will ask for some address information. And then the annual gross income for the household does have to be under $75,000. So we see a lot of grandparents on fixed income. They are able to open these for their grandkids and things like that. So just as a way for it to expand to more students, but it is only for one beneficiary at a time. So like mom can't open it for little Susie, and then dad can't open it for Susie again. Like it's just a one-time qualification per beneficiary. And then just a couple like highlights for this. is you do, again, have to submit the application for the Silver State Matching Grant every year. So we are just kind of checking that self-disclosed income that you have, that it still falls under the $75,000. We always recommend people to apply once it's open. So it has been open for about a month now, and it is a first come, first serve. So you just have to do your application. It's a super quick online form that you fill out that comes to us. We review it. And then if you are approved, then you will get a notification of that. And you do not have to make that $300 contribution at the time of application. You have until the end of the year to make those. So what happens is we have a lot of people that will set up automatic withdrawals from another financial institution into their future path, whether that's with their employer or just their personal bank. And even if you just contribute about $25 a month for 12 months, that will give you the $300 by the end of the year so that you can take advantage of that full dollar for dollar match. So the accounts or the deposits are actually put into the account of the beneficiary the following January. So once you have until the end of the year to make those contributions, then the match for match funds will be put into the account after. So if you are applying for this year, you have till December 31st, 2026, and then your beneficiary will get the match in January of 2027. So I'm going to switch gears to another program that we have that is also considered a 529, but it's a little bit different in that it's a structured contractual way for you to lock in the rates of tuition. So just recently here in Nevada, the Nevada System of Higher Education, which we call NSHE for short, they just voted to raise the tuition across its colleges and universities. And those increases are going from 9% to 12% over the course of the next 3 years. So we know that just like life and all the things around us, things are continuously getting expensive. And tuition is one of those things too. So if somebody told you that you can lock in the price of something today so that you don't have to worry about what it costs later, this is the program for you. So Nevada prepaid tuition, it allows you again to pay for tomorrow's tuition credits at today's rate. So they will look at what it costs at UNLV here in Nevada, a university that we have, or a community college that we have. What are the costs of those credits today? Let's lock in those prices and start paying for that on a month-by-month basis, or let's pay for that in one lump sum and calculate all of those credits that are needed to complete an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, things like that. So this is a program that it is so much better to start as early as you can. So you can literally start it for a newborn baby once you have their social security number, all the way up until 9th grade. So you are still able to take advantage of this program when you have a 9th grader in high school, but you'll just have to think that those payments per month will be more expensive since you are trying to pay that off by the time they graduate from high school versus if you were making smaller payments over the course of their years in school when they were little. So this is just, again, a great way to utilize this benefit. It could be used with other scholarships, other financial aid, with 529s that we just talked about. Anything that will help deduct that balance from your college or your post-secondary education, your apprenticeship program, your certificate program. We understand that as much as you can chip away at those costs by using all kinds of resources, that is the best way to do it. So this program has been around for about 25 years, and it is such a great way to kind of start thinking about education long-term and taking out little by little throughout the way. And despite its program name, yes, it is called Nevada Prepaid Tuition, the credits that are essentially locked in and purchased, they can be applied nationwide. So this does not limit your students to just sticking to Nevada schools. They do not have to stay here. It's just like 529s, whereas any school in the nation that takes the FAFSA, they will accept the Nevada prepaid tuition. The only difference is that if you are going to Harvard, their credits might be a little more expensive than, let's say, the UNLV credits here in Nevada. So if there is a small difference in that credit price, then you would just have to pay the difference. But a big chunk of the tuition credits will be taken care of with your Nevada prepaid tuition. And then if you're asking yourself kind of how is this managed, it is just a program that works with our trustees. We have a great board of education, and they work with our financial investment people as well, their managers, consultants, just to ensure that we have a well-endowed trust fund in order to keep this around. And this is a great program that there's only 12 in the state or in the United States. So Nevada prepaid tuition is super rare, and I'm super happy that Nevada is one of the states that has it. So again, prepaid funds are to be used for credit. So where 529s have that little flexibility where anything that is a qualified educational expense can be used for the 529, this is strictly credit by credit. And then students have 6 years after high school graduation to use that. So even if you have students wanting to take a gap year or things like that, they have the 6 years after high school graduation to utilize these benefits. And contracts can be transferable. So if you originally opened a contract for one student and they ended up not going and they have a sibling it could be transferred just like a beneficiary, for example. If for some reason you have your prepaid tuition program and you decide, oh, I don't need to use this, you can cancel it with just a $100 cancellation fee. And then we do have instances where we see students that get full ride scholarships. So if that's athletics or if it's academics and they, secure their funding for tuition and credit some other way, a huge scholarship, that they receive or they apply for, and they have prepaid tuition and there isn't anybody to transfer that to, then your student can definitely use that free ride scholarship at their school. And then we would waive the cancellation fee because that's such a great achievement that they were able to pay for their education through another way. We just want them to go to school, right? So this program, again, it's been around for 25 years. As of right now, it has been accepted or sent to over 300 institutions within the nation. So lots of schools that are kind of taking advantage of this, lots of students as well. Over 23,000 families have prepaid tuition accounts. And as I mentioned, Nevada is just one of 12 states that have this. So definitely take advantage of that. The way that this works is depending on how many credits you want to purchase. Like I mentioned, the community college aspect, the university, you can kind of tailor that to what you can afford, what you can, the years of your student, how old they are, what grade they are in when you start this, it's all variable. So on our website, there is a really great breakdown that literally goes from newborn all the way to 9th grade that tells you what your costs would be per month if you did a lump sum option, which some families do. So I highly recommend that you check that out on our website if you're just curious to see what it would be coming out of your already, structured savings plans and things like that. So if I were to put it on this slide, it would be super tiny print just because it's a really nice chart. But there are so many options that you can get into a contract. And like I mentioned earlier, the earlier that you start saving for this, the better. So one example is if you started it as a newborn and you paid monthly on a university plan, then you're looking at $42 a month. So that's just kind of an example, but there are so many other variables. And then I will switch gears one more time to another 529 plan that we have. And this one is near and dear to my heart because this is the program that I run and administrate. And this is called the Nevada College Kickstart Program. So this was created as a way for our office to introduce families to what a 529 is. So many of them have never heard those words. People are super familiar with savings accounts, but they don't realize that there is one just for college. So the treasurer's office in 2013 started thinking of a way for us to introduce families to that. And one way to do that is by us to start creating that account for their students. So how can we get people invested? Let's start the account for qualified kindergartners. So again, it started in 2013. The general idea is that every kindergartner in the state of Nevada from 2013 until now will receive $50 into a 529 college savings account. And we are calling it a scholarship since parents do not have to put anything into that. They can just keep that $50 and use that when their student is ready to go to college, university, trade school, etc. However, we obviously encourage them to continuously save along the way, since we know that expenses of education definitely rise as the years go on. But this was just a way for us to kickstart their college savings. So the quote that Tia mentioned earlier mentioned that students with a savings account are much more likely to go to college, to graduate from high school. And that study that was done actually showed that even if they had less than $500, that still applied to their goal getting, because students see that as you are investing in them monetarily, emotionally, things like that, that you're believing in them. So even just $50, while it's not going to pay for their college, it gives them that idea. It plants the seed that education is attainable, and that we, along with their parents and their guardians, want to be there throughout their educational journey to show them that they can definitely do and be anything that they want to be. So the $50 that we are given is invested into a 529. So we do a super low risk investment. It will only grow, a couple dollars every year, but something is better than nothing. So especially when it comes to your college education and your university education, anything post-secondary education, if you are able to secure scholarships in any way, no matter what amount, it's definitely going to be beneficial to you. And then just like a 529, like we talked about earlier, the college kickstart funds can be applied towards any educational expenses, and then we send those directly to the institution itself. So a couple of things that you need in order to qualify for this is we have a great partnership with the Nevada Department of Education. So they send us all of the information for those public school kindergartners and who is eligible. And then once we get their names and their parents' information, we create those accounts through that. And all we are needing is a child's first and last name, their date of birth, and then the student ID number at their school. So the parents just have to go on in just a few steps to register that account, which shows that, yes, I'm interested. I plan on my student taking out these funds later for college. They just have to kind of opt into the program and then wait, let it sit there. It's kind of a set it and forget it. And then when their student is graduating from high school and ready to go to college, then that's where the parent can request the Kickstart funds to be sent directly to their school. So as of today, since program implementation, there is about 405,000 accounts that we have created for our kindergartners. And if you look at that in the grand scheme of things, 405,000 accounts at $50 in each account. And if you times that by every student using the $50, which is what we want, we are looking at over $18.6 million in scholarship money that is on the table for them to use, that we can administer and distribute to their schools. And, this is, again, a great way for the program to introduce people to our office, introduce people to college savings, and to not make them feel intimidated by it, because we want to get you started as best we can. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Tia Mathis-Coleman.
Thank you so much, Christina. So like Christina said, the job of the Nevada Treasury, we feel, is to really meet families where they are. And so we have the programs that she went over, in addition to what we call our student loan ombudsman. And this individual is here to help students learn about responsible borrowing. So one of the things that we often talk about is in our office is we understand that things can be complicated, but we are here to help. So we never want students and families to be going through this journey alone. And so no matter how old your child is, it's never too early to start planning for life after high school. And so the student loan ombudsman will sit down with you and talk about which loans are available, if loans are an option, and if so, if you take this loan, when will you have to start paying it back? A lot of families don't realize what loans look like on the back end. And so for our office, we use this as an educational opportunity. As we stated earlier, we want students to go on to trades, apprenticeships, college, whatever they want to be and do. We want to make sure that they're prepared. We also want to make sure that our families are prepared so that they're not taking on additional financial burdens. So some of the other things that we offer in our office is we like to do early preparation. So we have lots of programs and services. So first and foremost, we educate families on what's a grant, What's a scholarship and what's a loan, right? We need you to know the difference, and we need you to understand the difference. And so if there's ever an opportunity to speak virtually or in person, our office is happy to go out into the community and talk to families about the difference and what's best for them and their family. We also talked a lot today about the FAFSA. When it comes to the 529 scholarships, we want families to make sure that they are applying for the free application for federal student aid. Please look into your resources. This document is extremely important because we cannot give you scholarships or access to all of these services and resources without your FAFSA. And so please reach out. Again, it's a federal application, so there are resources in every state, no matter where you are, to help you along the way. Some of the other programs that our office does, we offer a scholarship database because we do have families that say, hey, our child doesn't have enough aid, doesn't have enough with the 529s. Are there scholarships available to help them go through whatever their post-secondary journey looks like? And so on our website, we have everything that you need for after high school on one platform. And that platform is called navigate.gov. That's navigate.gov. And this scholarship database is a one-stop shop where you can find additional scholarships to help fund your post-secondary journey and beyond. We also offer a middle school essay contest. One of the things we have found over the years, I've been with the Nevada Treasury now for 6 years, and what I've found is it's never too early to start talking to students about going somewhere after high school, right? What do you want to be when you grow up? How do you plan on getting there? So our office offers a middle school essay contest so that students can start to earn a 529 early. So if they win the essay contest, first place gets $1,000, second place $500, and then our third place winners get $250. We offer this essay contest 4 times a year, and we're just asking middle school students to write a 250-word essay. We offer this essay contest in collaboration with KCEP, our local FM radio station. And so again, this is for Nevada students, but it's just one opportunity for us to help families start thinking about, hey, what do my students want to be and how can I prepare them for this later on? Another thing that we offer is our art contest. Our art contest started about 5 years ago. Again, it's a way to start a conversation with families and to help them earn a 529 account. And so our art contest is called What Do You Want to Be? Art Contest. And we basically offer this contest for students pre-K through 12th grade. And they draw, they paint, and they have such amazing creativity, and they show us what they want to be. And then the winners of that art contest are given, again, a 529 account. And our goal is to start that conversation with those families. Your child said they want to be a doctor. Your child said they want to be a nurse. Now we're giving you $1,000 into this account so that you can start planning. The goal of the Nevada Treasury is to be a partner with families. We want to help them know that whatever their young person dreams of being, we're here to help them. And so these are just some of the things that we do. I know we went over quite a bit of information, but I am happy to open it up for questions at this time. We also have our contact information available on the screen. So just in case we don't get to everyone's questions, feel free to reach out to both myself and Christina anytime for additional support.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Tia, and thank you, Christina, for wonderful presentation. I do see there that was just a wealth of information. There were some who's this here? There's some comments that are coming from people in the audience. I see here that there's some folks that are tuned in from out there in the audience there. And so there's a couple questions because I see we only have 5 minutes. So let me get right to a couple questions here. And so quick question. So can students use their 529 plan for college and university as well as apprenticeship, or do they have to choose? So do they have to choose one or the other, or can they apply both at the same time?
It really depends on what program they're using it at, where they're going with it. Okay. It also depends on if their apprenticeship program takes the FAFSA. So we typically tell students that any program that takes the FAFSA, you can use it. You can use your 529 at that program. What I would say to a student who, a lot of times we'll have students that say, hey, I want to be at a community college working on maybe a trade, and then I want to take some classes at the university. The best thing that they can do is sit down with someone from their treasurer's office to see what the opportunities and resources are in their state. And then the next best thing is to sit down with someone at the college or university or the apprenticeship program to make sure that they understand before they start the program, because every single program has their own timelines and what they require. And so we never want to say, yes, you can, but I would say anytime that there's a program that takes the FAFSA, there is a very good chance that they would be able to use it.
Okay. And then what should families be asking themselves while they're choosing between all of the ones that were the prepaid tuition and the 529? What should families be asking themselves, or should they put into all of them, the Nevada prepaid tuition and Nevada 529? What questions should they ask, or should they just put a little in each of those programs you all went over today?
Yeah, that's a good question. Christina went over a lot of programs today. And sometimes when we are talking to families, you can see the look of, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're talking about. This is so much information. And so I encourage people to please reach out to us. We are happy to sit down. I think that it's very family specific. One of the things I do tell people, though, I had my daughter in 2018, and I feel like, especially if we're talking to families in Nevada or another state that offers a prepaid tuition, I 100% encourage families to invest in your prepaid tuition if you're in a state that has the prepaid tuition. What happened when I had my daughter in 2018 is I was able to lock in that tuition cost. And so no matter how much tuition goes up, Christina mentioned that in Nevada we'll be going up 12% over the next 3 years. And so because I'm locked in at the rate of the 2018 rate, no matter how much it goes in, I don't have to worry about that. And so I get a chance to rest easy because I know that no matter what, she will have a certain pot of money that's set aside. What I do for prepaid tuition is I pay monthly. And by the time my daughter is in the 5th grade, her 4-year college tuition will be paid off if she chooses to go to Nevada. But because my husband is not from Nevada, and because kids, you never can predict what a newborn is going to do 18 years from now, I also have her a 529 account. And so with that account, I don't put in as much each month. I may put in $25 or $50 a month. But when folks reach out, like her grandparents or aunts and uncles at birthdays, I send them that link. I say, we do not need another Barbie doll. Send us money into her college, into her 529. And I think that's what parents need to understand. There's a saying, it takes a village. The 529 is a great way for your village to support your students' dreams, right? You're able to send out that link, and family, friends, aunties, uncles, they can invest in that 529. And then no matter where your child decides to go or do, you have that money set aside. And so I think that the answer to your question, Dewana, is if you have the money, put a little bit in everything because it can't hurt.
Wow. Okay. And it looks like, oh, wow. Our time looks like it's up. It is at the top of the hour. Now, if there's more questions, and I know we had a couple more questions, but for anyone that has more questions, should they just email the numbers on the screen for the additional questions? Because I see it is the top of the hour.
Yes. Reach out to us. Our emails are on the screen. You can also visit our website that we mentioned, navigate.gov. That's nvigate.gov. It's an online platform to help families and educators and anybody working with young people on how to navigate, and that's why it's called Navigate, but navigate their post-secondary journey and beyond. So we're here to help. You don't have to live in Nevada to get our help, but we would also say start with your state treasurer's office because there may be additional tools and resources in your state. Your state may be giving you free money that you're missing out on. So look at your state first, but you are free to reach out to both Christina and I, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. And like you say, if someone is in another state, since this is National Registered Apprenticeship Week, all of your state 529 plans can be found on 529apprenticeships.com. That website just put every state on there and a link to your 529 plan. So that resource, speaking of resource, is available for you all as well. 529 apprenticeships with an S.com. Thank you, Dr. Tia. Thank you, Christina. And thank you to our audience for tuning in as we continue to celebrate this 12th annual United States Department of Labor National Apprenticeship Week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.